So if you've been watching any of my recent videos, you would have heard me talk about a leveraged offer or a productized offer. So this is essentially an offer where you can scale up the volume of clients without scaling up your time. Okay, I've been sharing a couple of different models that drive different elements of my business and brand. You might have seen this one, which is kind of the overall group. And then in particular, we've spent a lot of time looking at this model here, which I call the lifestyle business operating system. This focuses in particular on the acquisition path to someone ultimately becoming a client within one of these leveraged or productized offers. And what I wanted to cover in today's video is drill more so into this post-funnel piece, a different level of detail, so that you can see what this really looks like when you build it and when someone goes through the process, so that they can just purchase, enroll, and they're in and off and running without you having to really lift a finger at all. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover in this one, right? This is obviously very distinct from one-to-one consulting work and that kind of higher ticket where you're typically going to have like a 5-figure price tag. This is more so in your 4-figure range, where it's a group structure, there's more leverage, and there's no right or wrong. They just serve a different purpose within the business. Okay, and so let's walk through this in detail. And if you want to build this with me, you can check out the Lifestyle Business Academy. That's where we dive into all of this, the back end in terms of the system, but also the acquisition and getting people in, ads, clients without sales calls, all that kind of good stuff. Or you can just take this and use some of it or all of it in your own business. Okay, so it's broken up into a few different sections. The purple here is really the lead up to somebody becoming a client, right? So in my world, that's a combination of ads and content, all driving ultimately to the core hub, which for me is email, and I think is the right move at the moment with where the market is. And there's 3 different ways that we ultimately get people to our offer document, right? Which is how we're able to close clients without calls. So this is the offer document here. You can see an example of this down below, but email, DMs, and a bridge page. Okay, so email, I'll send an email, either automated or a broadcast. Someone replies, send the document. They might just reach out via a DM, Instagram, Facebook. They've seen the content. Hey, can you send me the details? Or simple bridge page just bridges over to the document. And we usually use this in the middle of funnel only. It doesn't typically fly in the top of the funnel with colder traffic, but in the middle of funnel with warmer traffic, we can use that bridge page to get the offer in front of more people. This one doesn't sell a lot directly, but it provides context. Once someone's seen the offer, then they go back and start seeing ads again, they start seeing content again, they start watching YouTube videos again, and they're spending time in this middle of funnel. Now they've got context about what the offer is and what the next step is. So they're consuming through a different lens, right? And so these are our 3 different pathways that ultimately lead towards the core invitation document. Okay, and I've done separate videos on why I sell with a document. There's a few different reasons, some strategic, some tactical, some more from kind of a business philosophy perspective, but I'll put a link to that below, you can check it out. Regardless, that feeds the checkout page. Either they pay in full or take a payment plan. Okay, and so this is the front end acquisition, right? Then it feeds this next section. Okay, so once somebody pays and enters their details, in my case, at the time I'm filming this, it's a 2K pay in full offer or a 3 payments of 800. So they're going to take one of those pathways. Regardless, they end up on the same thank you page. Okay. Now, when that transaction happens, a whole bunch of things get triggered. Okay. They automatically get added to Kajabi. Their account gets unlocked. They get their password. That's where our content is saved. Okay, you get access to all the different things that are outlined in the offer document. All right, all the details are pushed over to ActiveCampaign. They get their welcome email, and then an onboarding sequence will kick off. And then in this welcome email is an onboarding document. Okay, now this onboarding document covers all the key logistical components of getting set up inside the offer. All right, and so that's what is covered in all of these next green boxes here. The first one, which is really critical, is a personalized assessment form. So this is a questionnaire. There's about 35 questions so that we can really deeply understand the current situation, the goals, the business, the niche, the offers, the traffic sources, the assets that we've got to work with, right? And this gets sent over to me and my assistant. We then run it through an AI summary process, which is trained on everything that we do. and I'll help them build a custom plan, and I'll film a Loom and send it over. Okay, this allows me to provide tailored advice to each client that comes in without having to fill up my calendar with calls. So it's more of an asynchronous approach, right? What I'll typically do is clients will enroll, I'll let a couple kind of accumulate, and then I'll knock them out all at the same time. All right, so that's a really, really nice process because typically in offers around this price point, you're not getting any customization or any like personalized planning. It's more just fully group structure, but I like to have this for people so I can tailor the plan to them. This alone is really worth the price, just to get someone with my experience, have the eyes on your business and tell you exactly what to focus on. And so the value is delivered out of the gate, right? They also get a link over to Telegram, and this is where the client hub is, where all the clients who are building this out are housed together. They get a summary of the Kajabi content, so they know what's what and what to focus on, right? And I also tell them what to dive into when I do their custom Loom, so that they're not wasting time with things that they don't need. Plus, they get told, if you've got questions, like technical issues, send them here, and then I've got my VA monitoring this, so I don't have to pay attention to it. Okay, so this all just happens, boom, instantly as soon as someone crosses this threshold here with payment. Right, this all happens instantly, and ultimately, I then just jump in and do the Loom in response to their onboarding form. Okay, which doesn't take me too long because I've onboarded so many clients at this point. Then we enter this third phase, the orange phase here, and this is once someone's in. Right, so you might consider like all of this happens in kind of the first few minutes, and then we're into the orange part pretty quickly. Right now. They'll start consuming content, they'll start engaging, start asking questions. They're going to receive the assessment from me typically within 72 hours up to a week. Just depends what I've got going on. And I'm upfront about those timelines when somebody jumps in. Then they get their customized action plan. But there's tons of stuff they can jump into straight away. The curriculum is very direct, very to the point, very implementation focused. So it's incredibly clear what to go and do and what to focus on, right? And so they get between their own consumption, then my custom plan, they can start implementing, right? Once they start implementing, they can attend weekly office hours with me personally. They're not farmed out to some junior coach that's getting paid an hourly rate. They can attend calls. There's 2 calls per month. I find from an implementation perspective, 2 calls per month is the right cadence. Weekly doesn't give you enough time to go and do anything. And then we've got a Q&A thread that runs 24/7 that I look at every day and can give direct and live feedback. Okay. Once they start implementing, depending on their experience, how fast they move, the assets that they've got in terms of audience, lists, traffic, how far progressed they are when they first jump in, that's going to dictate how quickly and the size of their initial results. Okay. At this point, we'll try to collect some form of case study, testimonial. Then we're really just focused on getting the initial build done, right? So the model that I help clients implement covers 3 core steps, which is essentially building out what you see here. And so we want to get that initial build done ASAP. I don't care if it's perfect. I don't care if it's fully polished. I just want the core offer live. I want their main funnel infrastructure live, and I want them to be starting to run traffic. Okay, if we can get those 3 things done, we can tweak the rest on the fly, right? Then it's a matter of scaling, troubleshooting, and then adding more traffic, right? And this is like an ongoing thing for as long as you run the business, essentially. We'll let some time pass, get updated case studies and results, and then they may elect to refer people. We haven't got the formal affiliate program in place yet, but that's coming down the line in the next couple of months. For now, they can just DM me and we can enroll people that way, and we'll pay a referral fee if somebody ultimately comes on board. Okay. And so this is how you can map out a leveraged or productized offer. So from my perspective as the founder, my touch points are a few. One, I need to do the personalized assessment for each new client that comes on, and we've got processes set up where they automatically get the assessment, they fill it out, it gets summarized using an AI tool, then I jump in, look at it, make some notes on it, film the Loom, and then we've got the templates and everything to send it out. So it's really, really streamlined. And then beyond that, it's a weekly office hours session that's hosted. show up on my phone with a pop-up container so people can get real time. I host that on a Thursday morning my time, which is a Wednesday evening for most people in the program, and it's a good midweek touch point so that they can knock out anything in real time with me that might be holding them up. I do the 2 calls a month, which typically go for about 90 minutes, and then I just check the Q&A thread every day. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, sometimes it's really quick, just depends how many questions there are, right? And then the rest of this stuff, is pretty kind of static. Okay, so that's my kind of contact time with clients through this offering, right? Now I do one-to-one work separately, I do consulting, but this just runs around the clock, right? And so what you do is you've got automated emails set up, or you might send an email that takes 5 minutes a day. You've got ads running that are growing the list, the documents going out automatically, people are enrolling, and then boom, this whole thing drops in. Okay, so if you'd like to build something like this, I'd love to help you out. You can check out the academy. Otherwise, go and look at, if you've got this type of offer or you're wanting to build this type of offer, go and look at what you've got in place, overlay it against this, and then put more of these systems and automations in place, and you'll save yourself a ton of time and be able to scale up without scaling up your time. Okay, hopefully you found that one helpful. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.